Rap singer Eazy-E has lost his battle with AIDS just 10 days after revealing that he had the disease.
He was the father of gangster rap, the founder of Ruthless Records, and the voice that shook the music industry to its core. But behind the fame, platinum records, and public feuds lies a chilling mystery, one that has remained hidden for nearly 3 decades. Now, at 55, Eazy-E's former girlfriend is breaking her silence. For the first time, she's revealing the untold truth about the man she loved, the secrets behind his final days, and why his death may not be what the world was told. This is the story they never wanted you to hear. Before the music videos, the gold chains, and the headlines, Eric Lynn Wright was just a kid from Compton, navigating a world that seemed determined to hold him back. Born to a school administrator mother and a postal worker father, he grew up during one of Los Angeles' most turbulent times, an era when the war on drugs collided with economic collapse. Entire neighborhoods were stripped of opportunity, and survival often meant playing by the unforgiving rules of the streets. That by his early 20s, Eric had reportedly amassed more than $250,000 through drug sales. In a place where quick money came with high risks, he had carved out a reputation for being sharp, resourceful, and fearless. But the streets came with a heavy price. When his cousin, someone close to him, someone who had also been in the game, was shot and killed, it changed him. The loss was more than personal. It was a wake-up call. The streets had already taken too much from him, and he began to think about what else his life could be. That search for something beyond the hustle led him to music. Around this time, he crossed paths with a young and hungry producer named N.W.A. Young, better known as Dr. Dre. The two saw something in each other: raw talent, ambition, and the drive to create something bigger than themselves. Pooling his street-earned money into a bold business move, Eric co-founded Ruthless Records, planting the seeds for what would become one of the most influential music movements in history. Out of that partnership, N.W.A. was born, and with it, the world was introduced to Eazy-E, the godfather of gangster rap. His style was unapologetic, his delivery raw, his presence impossible to ignore. He wasn't just a rapper. He was a businessman who understood that controlling the music meant controlling the message. To millions, he became the ultimate symbol of West Coast authenticity. But behind the shades and the sharp business moves was another side to Eazy-E. To Tracy Jernigan, the woman he met in January 1989, he wasn't the untouchable rap mogul. He was simply Eric. She didn't fall for the tough image. She saw the man who could be gentle, loyal, and deeply private. Their relationship lasted 6 years, a stretch that saw him rise to superstardom. And together they had a daughter, Abby. Despite the chaos of fame, Eric was present in his daughter's life. He made time for surprise birthday parties, called her from the road late at night, and ensured she always knew she was his child, not just in words, but through legal, emotional, and financial acknowledgement. Even with other children from different relationships, he never wavered in his commitment to Abby. In the middle of an industry built on ego and excess, Eric Wright held on to something real: his role as a father. But fame brought enemies. Tracy noticed strange faces in Eric's inner circle, people who didn't belong. The higher he climbed, the smaller his circle became. While Eric focused on building Ruthless Records, someone else may have been watching, waiting, calculating. Then, in early 1995, everything changed. It began with a cough. Eric thought it was asthma, something he had lived with for years. But in February 1995, he checked himself into Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. The diagnosis shocked everyone: AIDS-related pneumonia. The progression was frighteningly fast. Tracy remembers, one day he was okay, the next, he was fighting for his life. That's not how AIDS works. There had been no weight loss, no visible symptoms, no gradual decline. And yet within weeks, he was gone. Stranger still, none of the women in his life, including Tracy, tested positive. Neither did any of his children. For Tracy, this raised a question she couldn't ignore. How did Eric get sick so suddenly? And why did it seem so different from every other case she'd ever heard about? As his health declined, Tracy was suddenly locked out, replaced by lawyers, guarded by security. and shut out by family. Then came the bombshell. Eric had married Tamika Woods at his hospital bedside, reportedly too weak to even speak. Within days, she controlled his estate, Ruthless Records, and all rights to his music. After Eric's death, more unsettling details surfaced. Over $600,000 vanished from Ruthless Records accounts. Medical records had missing signatures and contradictory dates. The official death certificate left unanswered questions. And most shockingly, there was no autopsy. When Suge Knight casually joked on television about injecting people with AIDS, Tracy froze. Could that have been what happened to Eazy-E? For years, she had quietly suspected foul play, that someone wanted him gone. Her fears weren't hers alone. Former members of N.W.A, who visited him in his final days, came away unsettled, convinced something wasn't right. Years later, a door opened to Eazy-E's garage, a place frozen in time. Dust motes drifted through the air, and on a workbench sat a single note in his own handwriting. "I left everything behind here." Beneath heavy tarps rested 3 cars, each telling part of his story. The 1960 Ford Chevy Impala, candy-painted and riding low on hydraulics, symbolized his Compton roots. The hustler who made it big while never forgetting where he came from. The BMW 850 CSI, sleek and powerful, reflected the businessman who had risen beyond the streets, a man building an empire. And the Suzuki Samurai, compact, rugged, and unexpected, was his getaway car, a symbol of disappearing when the spotlight became too heavy. For Tracy and her daughter Abby, the garage was more than a collection of machines. It was a time capsule of the man they loved, not the legend, but the person. It reignited their mission, uncover the truth. They launched the mysterious death of Eazy-E, confronting inconsistencies in medical records, questioning the official timeline, and speaking to doctors. The backlash came swiftly, threatening messages, cold shoulders from industry elites, and the ever-present label of conspiracy theorists. But for Tracy, this was never about convincing the world. It was about clarity for herself, her daughter, and the man she loved. On March 26, 1995, Eazy-E died at just 31 years old. His funeral at Rose Hills Memorial Park drew over 3,000 mourners. His gold-plated casket rested on a bed of red roses, surrounded by childhood friends, music peers, rivals, and fans who had seen their own struggles reflected in his rise. In life, Eazy-E broke rules and built an independent empire. In death, he forced the industry to confront uncomfortable truths about AIDS, about the exploitation of black artists, and about how quickly a legacy can be erased. His influence endures in the music of Kendrick Lamar, YG, and countless others. A lasting reminder that you don't have to be perfect to be powerful. You just have to be real. So, what do you think? Was Eazy-E's death a tragic twist of fate or the result of something far more sinister? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold stories. Some legacies can't be silenced, no matter who tries. Thanks for watching.